Right, good morning, welcome back. Okay, paintwork, the final leg of the project. Now this is going to be the defining feature. Custom paintwork is the defining feature of any custom project. It's the first thing people notice, and any blemishes in it are the first thing people notice. So getting it right is what it's all about, and it's the preparation that makes a good paint job, not the laying on of the paint. They always say that 99% of any custom paint job or any paint job of any kind is in the prep. Preparing the surface so it's absolutely flawless, and when you lay the paint on, it looks great. Because custom paint or any paintwork doesn't hide blemishes that are there. It actually highlights them and makes them more shiny and noticeable. So getting it right is 100% of the job, to be honest. Once you lay the paint on, you know it's a guaranteed win. And I want that for this bike. It deserves it with the year of work that's standing here behind me. Now there are 8 pieces of bodywork here, including the mudguard over there, and 8 badges to get off intact. They're stuck on. There doesn't seem to be any way to get them off, but I don't want to damage them because I want to reuse them and I can't afford new ones. So I'm going to get this done today, 8 hours roughly, and if you can pick up any hints and tips today, this is what you might be able to do for your bike. If you're going to take your paintwork in for a custom paint job, this could be the 8 hours of labour that you save yourself having to pay for. Because this is just donkey work. Careful, meticulous, particular donkey work, but that's all it actually is. There's no real skill in this bit, so let's get on with it. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is wipe everything down. This bodywork has been in storage for practically a year, sat under the bench, out the way, waiting for today. So wipe it all down, get all the dust off it that's collected, any other residues that there may be from the garage, and the best thing in the world I always find, a bit of brake cleaner. It wipes everything off, it's a great degreaser, gets everything bone dry and bare, no grease or wax or anything on it, and then I can start actually working on it. Let's get it clean first. All right, tank pads, couple of quick tips. If you take them off, heat is obvious, isn't it, really? If you don't heat them, the chances are you could snap them trying to get them off because these are 20 years old. Chances are this rubber is a bit brittle after all that time, but heat them up, they go nice and soft, and then also the glue sheet softens up and they literally, as you saw, they just fall off. Job done. Now, once that rolls off and you've got plain rubber, how to stick it back on. Easiest thing in the world if you want to put them back on in the future, and these are perfect, why not? Also, if I want to put an aftermarket, something a bit different on there, the best way is some spray glue. Never found these sticky sheets anywhere for sale, but spray glue from a rattle can, spray glue on the tank, and once you've marked where it goes with some dry wipe pen, so you know where to place it, it's a contact adhesive. Once it's dry, place it in there, bop, and it sticks forever. Job done. And any excess glue that's outside of the pad, it rolls off with your fingers. Really easy way to stick your pads back on without a big horrible spongy foam pad underneath which makes them stick out, look weird, lets the weather down the back and they fall off in the future. So there we go, but you knew that. Right, and with the pads out of the way, there's just the badges to go. Now, try and put these on with security screws, which I guess they're never going to get stolen, but it is a specific type of tool. Only one tool will get those off. It's a Torx bit with a little hole in the end, a security Torx bit T25. Unfortunately, I've got one in my socket set. Okay, the first three parts to come under the scuff are going to be the chrome parts. Now, I get this question every time I paint chrome parts. Shouldn't you put them in fancy chemicals and de-chrome them before you paint? No, not at all. Absolutely not necessary, a waste of time and money. All you need to do with chrome parts, if you want to paint them, is scuff them up, obviously, like any other bare metal, and then put an acid etch primer on there to make it bond nicely to the metal, and then put your paint over the top. Job done. Now, both of these are going to be painted in body colour, so we'll come to that later on. But the horn shroud, well, it lives in amongst the engine architecture. It's going to disappear if I just paint it satin black, and that's what I want. I want to blend it in. So satin black for that, body colour for these, but best scuff them up first. Let's get on with it. Right, okay, what a fantastic way to spend 8 hours, but there it all is done. Now all pieces are flatted back to 400 grit. Those of you out there that do paintwork will know that 400 grit is a little bit coarse for painting onto, but this is going to get some thick primer over it, then sanded back again. Now if I get advised by the professional guys it needs a little finer sand, perhaps a 600 or 800 grit before we put the primer on, then I'll do that, but I'm okay with it as it is. This basic job was to get all of the sanding done, get all the imperfections out, get the pinstripes out of the tank, get the two-tone colours blended together and get everything assessed that there are no problems I have to deal with filler or anything like that before I go to the paint shop. And no, I'm fine. I'm absolutely happy with it. The bare metal stuff is cool. This whole video has been about rubbing down, and I'm sorry if that's been a little bit boring, but it is a monstrous task. As you can see, there's an awful lot to it. But now we're ready to go. In the paint shop, it will be a game of two halves. This lot first, side panels and all the chrome work, and then the mudguards and tank will be last. Well, the reason I'm going to split them into two will become apparent at the time, because I'm not doing the whole lot in one colour. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe, and I'll see you next time at the paint shop.